Good afternoon, Pak Ivan Iskandar and my friends. Today our group will perform the dynamic of East and West educational philosophies in English language teaching in Indonesia. Our performance will include A. Introduction, B. Problems, C. Method, D. Discussion, E. Conclusion, and F. References. Our section 1 is an overview of East and West educational philosophies, while section 2 will discuss the acknowledgement of East and West educational philosophies in English language teaching in Indonesia, while section 3 will discuss about the realization of East and West educational philosophies in Indonesia's ELT. The introduction is that English has become one of the mandatory subjects taught in schools in Indonesia and is often considered as important internal language to learn. The importance of the philosophy of English language learning in Indonesia lies in providing effective, quality learning approaches for learners to master the English language. The appropriate philosophy of English language learning can also help students develop critical thinking, creativity, and independence, which are essential skills for career success in the future. And the philosophy of English language learning can help increase student motivation by providing a fun, interactive, and relevant approach that meets their needs. The appropriate philosophy of English language learning can also help students develop critical thinking, creativity, and independence, which are essential skills for career success in the future. The research wants to investigate a comparable issue, which a new focus based on prior studies. The research focuses on the dynamic of East and West educational philosophies in English language teaching in Indonesia. Based on these problems, a philosophical approach to English language in Indonesia is needed to meet the needs of English language learners in Indonesia. There are several approaches to achieve this. We have these 3 problems. What are East and West educational philosophies succeeded in the world? How are East and West educational philosophies acknowledged in English language teaching in Indonesia? And how East and West educational philosophies are realized in ELT praxis in Indonesia? So the discussion is that we will present an overview of East and West educational philosophies. And the second is the acknowledgement of East and West educational philosophies in English language teaching in Indonesia. The third presents the realization of East and West educational philosophies in English language teaching in Indonesia. And the fourth and the last is the relationship between curriculum with pedagogy, andragogy, and heterogogy. We have this overview of East and West educational philosophies as in this table.
Okay, thank you Mbak Dia, and the next presentation will be presented by me, the acknowledgement of East and West educational philosophies in English language teaching in Indonesia. In the table 2, English curriculum philosophy changes in Indonesia. Here are some of the English lessons that were taught in Indonesia. Since 1945, schools have used the same old program to teach and learn English. In the first part of implementation, however, it was only used locally grammar translation method, GTM, was the main way that people were taught. So English was first implemented teaching in Indonesia officially, subject-centered curriculum design, grammar translation-based curriculum which was should be studied and how should it be studied. So the audiolingual method or ALM was used to teach English from 1957 and to 1975. At that time, most people in Indonesia knew that English was an important foreign language, so workshops were set up to teach English using the oral approach. Oral approach was thought to be the most normal way to learn English. In this case, English teachers were forced to use silent way to help their students learn, and students were told to practice as much as they could due to the problem with the application. Teacher become very important. So the first time English was made mandatory to teach for 6 years from junior high school to senior high school. So structural based curriculum program which should be studied and how should it be studied. So in 1984, several reviewers pointed out that it had a lot to do with English use rather than English usage. So the government made a communicative English program to be better meet the need at the how developing world, which needed more English for business and writing. So as part of the communicative approach to learning English, students were told to practice as much as they were told. Even though the application was bad, she went on to say in her review that the teacher didn't address communicative because they didn't know how to speak English well and didn't understand the method. Because of this, not much was done to improve speaking skill. So a communicative English curriculum was created, accommodative more demand for English in commerce and correspondence of high developing world. So then in 1994, a meaning-based English curriculum was made available. It was intended that kids would study effectively and have positive learning impact. So a meaning-based English curriculum was created utilizing a communicative method allow for learning that focus on context as well as language. The main goal of problem-centered curriculum design meaning-based communicative curriculum is to educate students in situation analysis and problem solving. As a result, they are exposed to issues from real world which help them develop transferable skill. So in preparation for the year 2000, the government realized the competency-based program or KBK, which is its English program for 2004. This English program show how well the student knew English. So students learn how to use English in different situations. So it was thought that the new curriculum would help students learn English better than old one. A competency-based English curriculum was created hoping that students would learn English more effectively than they had in the prior curriculum. Additionally, the students were expected to incorporate cultural awareness into their study of English. So the main goal of problem-centered curriculum design competency-based curriculum is to educate students in the analysis and resolution of problems. Students are thus exposed to issues from the real world, assisting in the development of transferable skill. So just 2 years later, the English curriculum was changed to match what was taught in 2006. The main goal of teaching English in Indonesia middle and high school are set. Here are the usual goals of English course English course, students will be able to compete with other countries in the global community better if they know more about how English works as a foreign language. This will also help them improve their oral and written communication skill and understand the relationship between language and culture. So, the general objective for teaching English in secondary school in Indonesia are established. The 2006 curriculum as it commonly now was established to improve the environment for the learner learning activities. Learner-centered curriculum design, school-based curriculum focus on how to help students compete with other countries in the international community. Teachers should help students understand the nature of English as a foreign language. This will also help students improve their oral and written communication skill and their understanding of how language and culture are related. So in 2013, in Indonesia, Ministry of Education and Culture changed the lesson taught in elementary, middle, and high school in answer to criticism after less through study of the curriculum, which look at things like the strength and weakness of certain stage and part. This new curriculum is being tried out to see what teams and PISA say about how well people are learning as part of the new curriculum. Junior and senior high school now have to teach English. This is to help students learn how to think critically by using scientific method. So GBA is based on science. No matter what they do, Teacher in key roles must be able to get students interested in learning English. So English is now a required subject in junior and senior high school as part of the new curriculum, which is being tried to the response of the teams and PISA about the learning evaluation after a list through a review of the curriculum, such as the strength and the shortcoming for certain stage and component. Learner-centered curriculum design key 2013 focus on how to foster critical thinking among the students using scientific approach, applying gen-based approach teach English. So curriculum Merdeka Belajar was introduced at the latest English curriculum in Indonesia in 2022. This curriculum is influenced by Sever. So for the next presentation will be presented by Putri. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for Kak Paujia Wisma to present the previous materials. Next, I am Putri Pratiwi will deliver the result and discussion about the relationship between curriculum with pedagogy, andragogy, and heterogogy. According to CRIEE, curriculum and pedagogy are applied in attempt to previous further clarification on the learning process involved in co-construction and sustained shared thinking. So in the concept of educational in Indonesia, pedagogy and curriculum are two interconnected concepts. Pedagogy refers to learning theories and practice used in educational process, such as teaching strategy, teaching approach, learning approach, and evaluation method. The pedagogy approach used by teachers and educational institutions will influence how children learn and understand the curriculum. So, and a curriculum is a learning plan established by government, guide the learning process in school. Subject matter details, learning objectives, teaching method, and students' evaluation all included in the curriculum. So in Indonesia, the relationship between pedagogy and curriculum, the first one is curriculum implementation. Requires selecting an appropriate pedagogy such as active and problem-based learning to influence student comprehension and delivered and required effective teaching strategy in the classroom. The second one is method of instruction. The existing curriculum can influence the teacher's method of instruction in the classroom. For example, if the curriculum emphasizes project-based learning, the teacher must use method consistent with this approach, such as collaborative project or real-world assignment. And the third one is curriculum development. In Indonesia, curriculum development is also influenced by pedagogy. When designing or revising the curriculum, the most recent and effective pedagogy can be considered to ensure that the curriculum meets current educational needs. And the last one is improved learning quality. A good interaction of pedagogy and curriculum can help improve learning quality in Indonesia. The teacher can provide a more effective and meaningful learning experience for students by using a pedagogy approach that is aligned with this curriculum purpose. So Indonesia educational integrates pedagogy and curriculum, influencing student learning and understanding, while the curriculum provides a framework for teaching method and pedagogy development and ensuring optimal educational goals. The next one is andragogy. According to Hench, the final outcome of the course is the implementation of a prepared plan for andragogy curriculum, while this aid is equipping both novice and veteran adult teachers. So, vital pace in the learning process in sense, peeling, which is difficult to describe or convey. It entails integrating explicit subject matter knowledge with personal development and performance. In a certain setting, the development of this perception shift learning into the future's attitude is critical, which include being open to new ideas, also compassionate, supporting, and believing in the values of the learning process. The relationship between andragogy and curriculum in Indonesia, there are 4 points. The first one is selecting the learning method. Andragogy focuses on adult-centered learning, taking into experience and needs, and designing and revising curriculum based on experience, discussion, reflection, and active involvement. The second one is curriculum flexibility. As we know, adult students have demanding schedules. Andragogical principle-based curriculum provides flexibility, adaptation, and controlling learning technique and time. And the third one is the empowerment of adult learning in the learning process. Adult learners are empowered by andragogy principles to actively engage in the learning objectives, material selection, and assessment. So the last is experience, because adult learner experience improve learning by trying learning materials to real-life events and boosting relevance and application in learning process. So the incorporation of andragogy principle into Indonesian curriculum has the potential to improve effectiveness and relevance of learning for adult students. Curriculum can be adapted to pacing, meaningful learning, and motivation adult learners to achieve their educational goals while taking their needs, experience, and independence. So the third one is curriculum and pedagogy. According to Hess and Kenyans in Trisna, the pedagogy learning approach provides a solid learning experience for developing personality, independence, and maturity. The pedagogy approach holds that students are the primary agents in their own learning, and which occurs as a result of personal experience. So the Indonesia curriculum and pedagogy relationship are 4 points here. The first one is increase learning independence, encouraging active participation in goal settings, research selection, and activities fostering lifelong learning skills also. The second one is pedagogy promotes students' understanding of how they learn and they develop of pedagogical skills, including reflection, problem solving, decision making, self-regulation through self-motivation, and evaluation activities. The third one is selection of learning research and method. To manage and choose appropriate learning research using digital technology, online and local research, and promotion independent exploration, collaboration, and problem solving. And the fourth is evaluation of the learning process. The pedagogy focus curriculum focus on evaluation strategy for student reflection, monitoring independent learning, metacognitive abilities, and research use, and also enhance self-management skills. So in Indonesia, can assist students in becoming independent, reflection learner with strong metacognitive abilities, and a curriculum that promotes pedagogy can better prepare students to current challenges in our life. So the conclusion come here. The Western and Eastern philosophy approach to English language education have significant difference, which can affect how English is taught. The Western approach focuses on developing cognitive and analytical abilities, while the Eastern approach focuses on social skill and overall learner development. So in influencing the influence of Western and Eastern educational philosophy is still felt in English language teaching in Indonesia with the use of games and group activities. So the Asian philosophy approach offers a different perspective on teaching English. The theory of English education in the West and East differ in philosophical view, teaching method, and orientation toward language and cultures. And also in the West, educational English theory emphasizes master of English as an effective communication tools, while in East, grammar and understanding the structure of English are more important than mastering English of effective communication. So the value and norms can influence the approach of to teaching English, such as learning grammar and respecting the teachers. So however, many practical use worldwide and share aspects of the same, such as communication language teaching. So broad insight linked five ideologies and Orstein and Olivia perceptions all provide unique insight of educational philosophy. These five ideologies stress essentialism, perennialism, progressivism, existentialism, and social reconstructionalism, whereas broad perception promotes perennialism, essentialism, progressivism, existentialism, and social reconstructionism. Perception of philosophy of Orstein and Olivia divides philosophy into idealism, realism, pragmatism, existentialism, and postmodernism. And English teachers in Indonesia try to combine both application to create effective learning environments and encourage holistic development of character and language skill. The framework such as broad perceptions, Lynch, five ideologies, educational philosophy, and Orstein and Olivia perception can be used to view educational philosophy. And that's all from our group. Hope it can make these subjects final exam well. I hope. Thank you for a nice attention, Mr. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.